Hello everyone, Diana Rankin here with your weekly soul messages and psychic predictions. This is the 8th week of the year 2019 and it is February the 17th to the 23rd. The 17th to the 23rd. And this is the week, Tuesday I believe it is the full moon. So I want to talk to you about full moon rituals. We're also, I started this at the end of last year, giving you a process from my book Joy. We're just kind of choosing one at random, and I'll give you that. And then of course we will also get a message from Philip, my spirit guide. This is an oracle book, and we'll just get a message from that. I want to welcome all of you and thank you for coming and thank you for coming back. I want to tell my friends up in the Madison, Wisconsin area, specifically Oregon, that I'm bringing the Awakening to Deeper Intuition workshop. I will be up there. This particular workshop is going to be held at the Peaceful Heart Gifts and Book, which is on Main Street in Oregon, and it will be in May. So you can go to my website and find all about my Awakening to Deeper Intuition workshop. I will also be at the Peaceful Heart in April for the excuse me, for the Sacred Circles, and so you're welcome to participate in either. The space is not very large, so we only have room for 10 people because we already have some people signed up. So we only have room for 10 in this, and this is a 3-day weekend, so you're signing up for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday when you sign up for the Awakening. For Sacred Circle, you don't have to register in advance unless Peaceful Heart is asking you to, and they may because of the space, but I will be there Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Thursday evening, Friday evening, and Saturday afternoon. You can go to my website, which is printed below, and get all the information. So, that said, before we get Philip's message, and before I tell you about Joy, I want to tell you, I do want to talk to you about the full moon rituals, but I want to first of all tell you this is going to be one more horrendous week coming out of DC. This is going to go on for a while. This isn't going to end in a week or two. And it's been going on for a few years. We know that. And I know there's a lot of weariness. People are getting tired. I understand that. Don't forget that happiness buddy that we talked about a few weeks ago. I also know so many people are going through so much heartache right now. I have good friends and wonderful clients who are going through horrendous illnesses, debilitating illnesses, potentially lethal illnesses, fatal. And I have others who have lost children, and there's just an awful lot of sadness in the world, which is why it's so important for those of us who can help hold the joy for those who can't right now. And those who can't do need to be able to reach out as much as they can. You know, we do know that people who are unhappy tend to not reach out. And so we have to reach out to them. I spent the other morning calling just different people, different clients, and different friends. I was down and I said, what's the best way to counteract being a little sad and depressed? And I said, reaching out and helping others. So I was able to spend the morning doing that, and by the end of that, because I had to feel good to help those I wanted to help, and at the end of that I was feeling on top of the world. So reach out and help others, and it will help your heart as well. Now, excuse me, I want to say again, what we can expect coming out of DC is a lot of turmoil this week, a lot of craziness. Daisy just came over to say it'll be okay. And I want to give you an update on our kitties, Petey's. We're still doing a lot of testing on her, but she's doing okay. She's eating well and has lots of energy, and so she's doing pretty good. And Daisy just came over to say hello to everybody. And I stopped petting her for a moment. She doesn't like that. She likes to be petted. I'll tell you a Daisy story. Daisy asked for a treat the other day. And I said, I think you've had enough treats. And she said, I will call my attorney, JT, because JT is my advocate for treats. And I just kind of looked at Daisy and I said, you have your own attorney? And she says, yes, JT offered to advocate for me when it comes to treats because you're not giving me enough. So Daisy has her own treat attorney. How about that? That's how smart she is. Anyway, you hear what's happening. Joy, laughter, it is so important that we add it to the world right now. That's not to say we want to ignore what's happening with our so-called leadership in our countries. We don't. And that's not just the U.S., that's other countries as well. We do have to keep ourselves informed. At the same time, while we're keeping ourselves informed, we don't want to get caught in the madness of it. We don't want to get caught in the anger of it. Try to stay in the balance. I think that's important. I also don't advocate ignoring what's going on unless you can't deal with it at all. Because if we ignore, it's just happening to them, eventually it's going to happen to us. So I don't advocate ignoring, but I don't advocate getting so wound up in it that it takes up our whole life. Keep in mind there has to be the balance. That said, let's see what we have for joy. Oh, I like this one. This is for week 48. Remember, 52 processes for 52 weeks. That'll get you going the whole year. And if one process doesn't work, you come up with another one. But this is saying, pet a pet. And on each of these, I have a quotation by somebody, and this quotation happens to be by Charles M. Schulz. Happiness is a warm puppy. We can't all have pets. Some people live where they can't in an apartment and they're not allowed to have pets. Some people are allergic to pets. So what can you do if you can't pet a pet of your own? Well, you can pet a friend's pets, or if you can't pet a friend's pets, you can pet a neighbor's pets. If there aren't any pets around you, what you can do is volunteer 1 day a month at the animal shelter. There are so many rescue groups that need help and so many animal shelters and humane societies. Volunteer there. If you're allergic and you still can't pet any of the live pets, get a stuffed pet, a stuffed dog, or a stuffed cat, or a llama, or whatever, and pet the stuffed pet. Or look at cute videos or pictures of animals. Science tells us that just petting an animal takes us out of depression and can help with depression. The problem with depression is when it first hits, we tend to let it go and the pit gets deeper and deeper and deeper. And the deeper the pit, the harder it is to get out. So we want to get out of that pit before it becomes the pit. So if you're already in the pit, it's just going to be a little harder to climb out. That's not to say you can't. So pet a pet this week. And if you have pets, share your pets. All right. Again, I can't stress strongly enough how important it is to keep bringing joy and love and compassion back into our lives. This turmoil in the U.S. is not going to go away. It's actually probably going to increase. And as tired as we are of it, I can't stress strongly enough how much we need to counter it with joy. We need to counter it with knowledge. We need to counter it, all of that ugliness, with beauty. Let's see what Philip has to say this week. think left or right. I just flipped through and I came to a page, and I'm looking at the right, but I want to also read the left, okay? So the right says, obstacles disappear when confronted with patience and perseverance. Obstacles disappear when confronted with patience and perseverance. Think about that. We're talking about all of this ugliness going on over here. And if we ignore it, it eventually will end up at our doorstep. So we don't want to ignore it. But the obstacles that we see, they're going to disappear. But it's going to take patience. It's going to take perseverance. And remember, balance. Left side. When you stop another from giving to you, you also stop the flow they have chosen for their lives. I love this. When you stop another from giving to you, you also stop the flow they have chosen for their lives. You know, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, so many of my friends and clients are going through really tough times right now. And part of what they're learning is how to receive. And you've heard me say it before. When we breathe out, we give. When we breathe in, we receive. We can't have one breath without the other. And too many of you out there are just givers. There are those in the world who are only receivers, and they drain us. We have to have that balance of giving and receiving. And so I remind you, my friends, when you stop another from giving to you, you also stop the flow they have chosen for their lives. Don't stop the flow for your life or theirs. And then our message for the week: obstacles disappear when confronted with patience and perseverance. Whatever obstacles you have in your life, be sure and go after them with perseverance and patience. And I want to tell you, Tuesday, the full moon night, is going to be one of the greatest nights to let go of those obstacles. So I'm going to suggest a couple of different rituals, and I'm going to suggest everybody do a ritual. This is going to be one of the most powerful full moons of the whole year. It may be the most powerful full moon of the whole year. So be sure and do a ritual on Tuesday, a full moon ritual. And a ritual can be anything you want it to be almost, but this particular ritual, I want you to thank the beautiful moon, whether you can see her or not. Just thank that beautiful moon for being there, for shining through the night, for adding light in the darkness. And think about that. The moon is adding light in the dark sky, and it lights up the whole sky. So thank her for being there, number one. Then I want you to do anything that you particularly would like to do as a ritual. It can simply be looking up at the moon and lighting a candle and giving thanks to her, and then making a request. Asking the moon, writing down your intention for the month, or writing down your intention for the next year even, or your life. And you might even write down a step that you're willing to take. You might fold this up and take it out and give it to the moon. You might burn it and let it fly away. That's one ritual. Another ritual is one I love to do. I don't know if you have this available to you, but I have an outdoor labyrinth that I've cut out of wildflowers and wild grasses. And I often, on full moon, I just go out and I walk the labyrinth. And when we walk a labyrinth, when we walk in, we're releasing the old patterns. In the center, we're giving our gratitude and our thanks and receiving the new patterns. And then when we walk out, we take on the new patterns. That's another ritual you can do. You can simply just sit and watch the moon and just allow yourself to move into that divine space, that divine energy that she puts out. You know, yesterday I had absolutely one of the most beautiful mystical experiences. I was driving, and I was going to do some errands and then meet a friend for dinner. And I needed to be in a good space to meet this friend because the friend has been ill, and I wanted to be able to be cheerful and up and bring joy to the friend, not bring my own upset or sadness. And so I was in an okay space, but not a great space. And I turned on the radio because I often drive in silence. I turned on the radio and there was a song playing. And I said, turned it off. And then I heard, turn the radio on. So I turned the radio back on. And there was a song playing. I don't know who sang it. I don't know all the words, but the words I kept hearing repeated over and over was the word love. 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 And of course, it was, when I was listening to this, it was Valentine's Day, which is not necessarily happy Valentine's Day to those of you who celebrate it. It was my mother's birthday, it was my cat's birthday, it was an old boyfriend's birthday, so I never celebrate Valentine's Day and didn't even think about it. But I kept hearing the refrain from this song, love and love, love. And when I just felt that love engulfing me and coming to me and filling my soul, filling my humanness. And as I felt that love just filling me, and I was so grateful for that. But then I started feeling it receding, and it's like, no, don't go, don't go, come back. And I felt it like arms at my back, like somebody was standing behind me, just wrapping me up in this love. And it stayed with me. It didn't go away. It stayed. I was in such a beautiful place. I'm so grateful because suddenly everything in the world was love and golden and beautiful. That's what I want for each of you, my friends. So go allow the moon to fill you with golden beauty, lighting up the darkness and giving gratitude for the darkness being lit. Add your light to it. Please. We need your light. Thank you. I love you. From Daisy and the kitties and everyone else here. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for loving us. Thank you for supporting us. And thank you for accepting the love we send to you. Until next week.